各位网友，大家好，我是中央电视台的记者谢斌超。
Good morning. My name is Xi Pingchao from CCTV. Today, we are going to present to you another report about the reform and opening up anniversary for the 40th years. We are now in Chongli County of Zhangjiakou City, Hebei Province. As we know, the Beijing 2022 Olympic Winter Games will have a course held here in Chongli County. And now I am at the venue of skiing and snowboarding. Now, behind me, this is a very important awarding ceremony of Beijing 2022. It's called Tides City. You could see on the side we have a big area still under construction. This morning, the temperature is about 16 Celsius degrees below zero in Chongli. When the temperature is below 12 Celsius degrees below zero, the construction cannot continue. So now we are not seeing a suspension of such a construction on the site. And this is Li Mingzhi, the manager of this Chongli project for Olympic Winter Games. Could you say hello to our viewers? Good morning. Could you briefly tell us about this site? This is our ice and snow town. We have three parts. This one, it's about the creative products. In the future, this will be a venue for the Olympic Plaza and also the awarding ceremonies. You could see that there is a high-speed railway under construction, and in October next year it will be completed. And here in the camera, it's our tower for the Olympic Winter Games and also the awarding ceremonies. Another highlight in the northern part of this area, in the distance, you could see some of the mountains. They are the legacies of the Prince City. This used to be the palace for the ancient princes, and it has about 1,000 years of history. And this is an extension of that old city to be used as the high-speed railway venue. And also at the conjunction, there will be the tower for the Olympic Winter Games. It represents the conjunction of history and the present. To brief you a little bit about this small town, in Chongli County, this used to be a small village. In the past several years, this small village called Prince City used to be a very impoverished village. But in about 2010, because of the unique climate situation here, because after all, even though the outside may be very sunny, within this area it may be snowing. So that unique situation would entail the development of many snow parks. And here in the Prince City, in 2017, the Hebei Provincial Cultural Heritage and Archaeology Bureau had an investigation here, and it discovered a lot of ceramics, including the ceramics and porcelains that could be dated back to the Jin dynasty. And in the early 11th century, here exactly in this place, it is home to the ruling of two emperors. So this place is home to the palaces for about 140 years of time. And in 2022, the Olympic Winter Games will also have a venue here in this Prince City, also right on the opposite of where we are standing. There will be a high-speed railway station called Prince City Station. This is the first station for the Jinjiang high-speed railway to enter Hebei Province. Also, this is going to be the awarding plaza for the 2022 Olympic Winter Games. And also next year, here exactly in this place, the high-speed railway will be put into operation in October 2019. From Beijing to Chongli County, the traveling time will be reduced to only 2 hours. Speaking of the traveling time, I think 2 hours is the traveling time for highways, but if you take the high-speed railway, it's only going to take about 50 minutes. In 2022, if you get on board this high-speed railway, get on the train, it will take you only 50 minutes. And right when you get off the train, the first place you see will be the awarding ceremony and also the Olympic Tower. So that's a very good design. Also, according to our design, there will be overland and underground construction and establishments. Now, Chongli is having very low temperature. If our visitors come and visit this city in the wintertime, they could choose the underground channel so they would not feel so cold when they get off the train. I know that this snow town has a lot of functionalities. Here is a plan for the future town. It says Beijing 2022 Olympic Winter Games Zhangjiakou venue plan. You could see that in the map. It looks quite like a phoenix. Exactly, that is what we were planning. Here, we put this construction into 3 stages. This one is our cultural and creative products region, and also over there, we are developing phase 1, where we are standing right now. We're standing here. It's about the observing platform. So this is the high-speed railway station, yes. When get off the station, you could go that way to enter the plaza. Yes. And also you said we could choose the way underground. Indeed, our visitors will not feel the coldness outside. So this is the legacy of the Princetown in northern part of where we are standing. Yes. There are so many segments in this plan. Here, this is the Olympic Village. And this is accommodation region. This is the snowing schools. Yes, to serve the Olympic Winter Games, we offer a lot of services for our spectators, whether they are here to watch the game or whether they are media groups videotaping. So in the future, this region will welcome all entities or individuals to come here. And also accommodation can accommodate some people come here for conferences. As to the guest houses, it's in this region, and those guest houses will usually make full use of the local features like the ice and snow, so that our visitors would feel like they are standing in the region with the snow falling in this Princetown. And also above, there will be the 5 rings, the symbols of Olympic Games. People would have first-hand experience of standing right in the middle of the Olympic Winter Games, and also it's also a legacy from the Olympic Summer Games. It's such carrying forward of the spirit. So, as we know, this small village in the future will be where the world put its attention to. It's going to be a big stage for Olympic Winter Games. This plan looks like a phoenix, so I think in the next few years it will take off and showcase the whole world about the look of this small ice and snow town. I'm wondering, when did you decide to invest in this ice town, and in the future, what will be this small town look like compared to the international peers? In April, actually, on April the 18th, we signed the agreement, and on May the 2nd, we put it into implementation. We will try to align this small town with the cutting-edge ones like a Davos town, to build it into a Davos-like snow and ice town. So for Prince City is also going to be at the level of Davos. But how could you do that in this snow and ice town? What are the advanced philosophies you adopt in the preparation? We have invited a lot of masters in designing. Like I said, the guest houses. Guest houses will be one good manifestation. And also our design of the Olympic Winter Tower will also harbor some elements of ice and snow. We also refer to some successful cases in the world, like the other snow towns. That is our initial mission. And the more important thing is about carrying forward such a tradition and legacy after the Olympic Winter Games. So we have signed contracts with the Intercontinental Hotel and other classy hotels to cooperate with us in the future. So I think there will be a lot of high-end conferences to be held in this region. And also the Guoming Villa area will be put into operation, so there will be more private spaces for high-level conferences. This is the profile of this snow town. There will be a dynamic demo inside, and from this profile, we could have a snapshot. This is a bird view, so you could see the roof of all of those architectures look like the shape of the snowflake. And here, this is the figures of the 5 rings. So all of those shapes are quite unique if we look from above. Since we want to reflect the spirits of snowflakes, so we put the snowflakes shape on top of the constructions, just like the snows falling down on the Prince Town. As to the design of the 5 rings, it's actually for the pedestrians. It's a pedestrian lane, and in the nighttime, when we open all of the lights, it would look spectacular. And also in the northern part is the legacy of the Princeton. So in the future, in the legacy area, there will also be lighting. So if you walk along this area, it would feel like walking in a snow wonderland. It's very dreamy. You could imagine that the 5 rings are the lanes for pedestrians to walk. Exactly. People can walk in the rings. So those are some areas for cultural and creative products, shopping malls. And here, this is the look of the awarding ceremony, where all of those awarding ceremonies to be held here. There will be 50 gold medals, and those 50 gold medals will be granted here in this region. Indeed, there will be a lot of historical moments to be witnessed here in this plaza. Yes. So this is for exhibitions and hotels. It has very advanced philosophies of design. This is a very long corridor. What is the function of this corridor? It's also for pedestrians. People walk along the lane, and from different angles, they could enjoy the outlook of those hotels and exhibitions, and also they could look far at those shopping areas. And this is actually our axis in the whole region, and it can exhibit the spirits of Olympic Winter Games. For the hotels, what are going to be the functionalities? Mainly for convening some meetings and conferences. And after the ending of the Olympic Winter Games, those hotels will also be used for receptions at a very large scale. Even the private enterprises, if they want to hold conferences here, it would be welcomed. So many major conferences during the Olympic Winter Games will be held here in the accommodation area. And after the Olympic Games, they will be carried on for its functionalities. So it will be a legacy for the future. Yes, like Intercontinental, they are all very big and very high-end hotels. What is the total area of this snow town? How many people can it accommodate? It's 2.89 square kilometers. We could accommodate like tens of thousands of visitors at one time. Now the project has made progress already. Could you brief us about the progress we have made in construction? And the Chongli town has a very short construction term, according to my knowledge, only 5 months per year open to construction. How can you make the deadline in such a short construction time? Like you said, it's quite difficult because the time allowed for construction is very short. From May until now, we have finished the underground construction. For example, this shopping area, we used a lot of steel structures. From transportation to production, it's all very challenging. To meet the anti-seismic requirement in the future, we have to put a lot of efforts. And also as to workers, because of the short term of construction per year, the dispatching of workers and their division of labor will also be another challenge. In September, the first snow fell in this area, and after the snow, many workers chose to leave this construction site because it's too cold. So we have to suddenly transfer a lot of workers from southern China in order to fill in the loophole. So we put a lot of efforts to make progress till today. Our goal is on September the 3rd, 2019, we will complete this construction. We used a lot of advanced and cutting-edge designing and decoration philosophies and assembly philosophies in order to develop this small town into a very useful region. After the Olympic Games, we made a very careful choice of the vendors. We have to put a lot more time into processing and shorten the time used for on-site processing in order to meet the deadline. I know that the most urgent matter is the 2022 Games. After the Games, I believe this snow town will also be a very useful example. What will be the functionalities after the Games? I think between Beijing and Zhangjiakou, this area will be like a hub region. And also this place could support the local people financially. It can meet the local people's need because in winter, it's a region for snowboarding and skiing. And in this snow town, it can offer international level of a snowboarding area. Just now, our manager has introduced to us about the scale and the progress of this construction. Next September, it will be completed, and by 2020, it will be put into operation. In 2022, it will stage an international level Olympic Winter Games. We will show the whole world the progress made in China in sports region. And as has been mentioned, the Prince City and now the whole village have been relocated. I believe it was 1 or 2 years ago, the relocation job has been finished already in this village. So now the awarding plaza and the ice town entirely are being built in the exact region of the previous village. And also, we are very close to the Prince City legacy and heritage area, and there will be some entertainment area for people to have leisure, and also we have high-speed railway station connecting with Beijing. And this area is a very important hub, whether in terms of entertainment or skiing or transportation. It's an integrated function. Yes, Beijing, Zhangjiakou, and Chongli County will rely on this town for transportation, and more people will be invited into this park for skiing and entertainment. For example, we could accommodate a lot of sports activities, such as even mountain-based biking. So we really welcome our viewers to come and experience this snow town in 2020 after its operation. So thank you for your introduction. Just now, we've introduced to you about the Prince City and the snow town. Next, we will go to the Olympic Village for 2022. Let's see what is the progress there. Until now, Chongli has seen 3 to 4 snowfalls. The temperature is reduced to even as low as 30 Celsius degrees below zero. Even though these days there is a rebounding temperature, it's still 10 degrees below zero. That's why the construction is suspended right now. A lot of technicians and designers are still working very hard for the plan and design. Now we are driving towards the Olympic Village. Olympic Village will be the accommodation area for the athletes. Now we could see it says the engineering project department of the Olympic Village. Here with us, this is Mr. Jia Maoting. And Mr. Jia is responsible for the project. How long have you been here? I come here in June 2017. What did it look like at that time? It was just a deserted land area. Could you please take us inside? How many people can this village accommodate? The construction area is 260,000 square meters. There will be 3,030 beds to be provided, so it will accommodate 3,000 athletes or trainers. Yes, a lot of people. What is this area used for? There will be 2 regions, northern part and southern part of the Olympic Village. The southern village has already been constructed. In northern part, in December this year, we will start the planning, and in May next year, it will be constructed. And in August 2020, the whole area will be completed. What will the construction look like? How many floors will the buildings have? There will be 3 to 4 floors above the ground.
楼层都不是太高。
I had some knowledge about the construction plan in Chongli County. It seems like all buildings are not very high. Yes, because we have a height limitation at 15 meters, so that's about 4 floors.
你给介绍介绍。
咱们奥用冲主要它的标准就是绿界三金，绿界三金它是
We will conform with certain standards
节能、减水、减财，
to reduce water consumption, energy consumption, save land area, and protect environment. Those are our principles of construction.
北区呢，现在已经是挖槽的一个。
Just now, Mr. Jia introduced to us about the situation here in Northern Village.
两个组团。
They are digging the foundation.
应该说，在这个张家口算是高寒地区嘛，是不是也有一些这个困难？
Since Zhangjiakou City is also a very cold area with high level above the sea level, so construction will be quite difficult. And Chongli County is the most coldest part in this city.
晚上已经零下
Chongli is coldest. At nighttime, it's going to be over 30 degrees below zero, and in the daytime, it's 10 Celsius degrees below zero. So such a low temperature will be quite challenging for construction, right? Yes, construction during wintertime will always be quite difficult. Now it's the suspension time for construction. I heard that there will be only 5 months for construction. Maybe you will kickstart the construction in May next year. Yes, actually in the second half of May, and we can continue the construction until November next year.
这个地方最大的就是时间问题，就是这个施工期太短。
So construction time is quite a problem here with very short construction term.
这个有效的施
It's like racing with the time.
工，如果再赶上大雨，这个施工的
And also we have to consider the raining season. If we meet downpour, then the effective construction time will be even shorter.
我们就是在
How can we conquer those challenges?
加大力度。
We would love to harness that short time and step up our efforts. We will have scientific and very stringent timeline. We will work around the clock, 24 hours per day. We actually could put efforts into one day, just like what we usually do for 2 days. For the people preparing for materials, I guess they are also working around the clock. Yes, even in the wintertime when the construction is discontinued, the material processing site is also underway. They would make full use of the wintertime to prepare some parts and materials so that early next year they will transport such processed and prepared materials here on the site. And the designing is also underway.
对，明年是个非常
So next year there will be a very busy season for construction. Yes, you will see some magnificent site about the construction next year. All those venues will be under construction.
对，因为
I guess because of the tight schedule, you have
再加上
actually called upon a lot of workers. Yes, because of the short construction time, we have to hire a lot of workers work simultaneously. We have a streamline for such work. So after one process finished, they will automatically go to the second stage. We will reduce time and financial resource expense. So we have to conquer all difficulties like the effective construction time and the conditions. So basically, we have parallel operation in order to reduce the difficulties those difficulties forced us to do this way, those parallel working. Yes. This is the commitment we have made to the world after all. That was a solemn commitment, and the construction is put under huge pressure. Yes, we are, but we are also firmly confident. The manpower, financial resource, and the efforts are all ready. We will not meet such a delay in construction because of any shortage. You said that this Olympic Village harnesses a lot of cutting-edge technologies like energy-saving or environmental-friendly processes. Could you briefly introduce to us? For example, the cafeteria, hotels will be environmental friendly. After the village completed, there will be some time for delivery, right? Yes. Every stage during the construction will have to be subjected to the review and inspection. We have to reach the high quality level. And after the whole project is completed, there will be an overall delivery. The Beijing 2022 Olympic Committee will have to come here. Yes, they have to come here and give us such authorization and authentication. We have to reach international level before the delivery. Thank you. Now, the Olympic Village has taken just the initial shape right now, but after several years, this place will be the major venue for our athletes and visitors. So thank you, Mr. Jia, for your introduction. This will be a first-class village. After visiting the Olympic Village, in the next half an hour, we will come to another place. After all, Chongli County is mainly for skiing. We haven't seen the snow yet in our program, so let's go to the snow parks.
在崇礼的这个整个的这个建设期，正如刚这个整个的建设起来是非常的不容易，但是目前呢，
Construction is quite a challenge in Chongli County, as we have heard. Now, all of the designing plans and tasks are still underway, and I think in May next year, the Olympic construction will enter the busiest hours. We are looking forward to the completion of those major projects.
现在咱们从这个奥运村出来，接下来就将去往这个2022年冬奥会滑雪的主要的比赛场地——滑雪场去看一看。
Now we are driving towards the ski resort.
哦，大家现在看到窗外这个位置，就是刚刚提到的太子。
Out of the window here, this is the legacy area of the Prince City.
就当时从这里。
You could see the pits left by these archaeologists. Here they have discovered a lot of ceramics and porcelains. This is where the ancient Prince City lies. There used to be city walls around this area, and also residents.
在左侧就是刚刚竣工的这个太子城的特大桥。
On my left, this is the huge bridge just completed.
京张高铁的一座铁路桥。
This is for railway of Jinjiang High-Speed Rail.
高铁就将通过这里。
Years later, the high-speed railway sent from Beijing will pass by this region. After crossing by a section of tunnel, it will arrive at Chongli County.
我们现在要到达的是这个崇礼区的云顶的这个赛场，那么这个赛场也是未来
We will come to the Genting Snow
冬奥
Park.
会这个 U 型槽比赛的一个主要的这个场。
In 2022, it will be used for the U-shaped games.
12月17号了。那么今天呢，恰恰是这个崇礼。
It's December the 17th.
那么其实从
It's also the opening ceremony of the Snow Festival here in Chongli County. Since the end of November, Chongli has welcomed a lot of visitors coming from Beijing or Tianjin. And now in our camera, you could see there is a white part on the mountains. Those lanes are the lanes for skiing.
那么崇礼的这个云顶的滑雪场，在冬奥会之前，其实已经进行了大量的这个冰雪，尤其是滑雪方面。
Before Olympic Winter Games, the Genting Snow Park has already staged a lot of games like the skiing or FRS World Cup will also come here. And in front of us, those buildings under construction will be the media center. All the journalists reporting these Olympic Winter Games will come here and also send the news to worldwide from these buildings. All of those designs for such construction will be very leading in the world. The media center for the Olympic Winter Games is under construction on my left.
冬奥会的媒体中心呢，现在
the schools together. I see that in front of us, many of those are primary school kids. Some of them are taken by their parents, and they will pay for a tutor to teach them how to ski. I think it's a very promising industry. Since we had a call by President Xi Jinping to invite 300 million people to enjoy skiing, so many of those subjects will be young people. In Genting Ski Resort, since we bid for the Olympic Winter Games, Genting Park was one of the key players. And after the successful bidding, Genting Snow Park has made a lot of preparations. Could you introduce to us? In July 2015, Beijing, together with Zhangjiakou, successfully bid for the Olympic Winter Games. We have a Genting skiing park, and that skiing park will be used for freestyle and snowboarding in 2022. And for those venues, there will be 2 competition venues and some non-competition venues. For the competition venues, they have about 6 lanes for snowboarding and freestyle. In total, we will cover about 20 activities. And in 2022, there will be 20 gold medals coming out of those venues. For the Genting Snow Park, we will rely on the previous establishment, and then with upgrading, there will be the construction of several competition venues. Since last year, we have already staged some games held by the International Snowboarding Federation, the FIS. We also have the area skills, the freestyle games, and so on. This year, the snowboarding games, the halfpipe, the freestyle, as well as the slope skills for snowboarding will also be held from 19th to 23rd December. So 2 days later, yes, the games will be staged 2 days later. Some athletes are already here. They're coming days earlier to get used to the environment in the snow park. Yes, every year, I guess the World Cup also appeals to a lot of international visitors. Yes, we have attracted a lot of international visitors, including some professional athletes, including those professionals from FIS or even the International Olympic Committee, because we are also getting prepared for the World Championship and other big international games. Another point is, in 2021, we will stage the games of snowboarding and freestyle for the World Championship. The World Championship will be an official test game for the 2022 Olympic Winter Games. It's really a test game. So they need to test the hardware, the services offered in those venues. Indeed. For us, we are operating based on the venue requirement, so we are accumulating experience along the years in order to keep improving our operation level, and we will identify the applicability of our operation. Yes, so this is a process of us getting aligned with international standards, maybe 1 to 2 years before the Olympic Winter Games all of those snow parks will be operated right according to the requirements of those Olympic level. Yes, we are moving towards that direction because we hope that by 2022 we will have a perfect operation, and it takes some time to get prepared for that high standards. That's why we need to hold a lot of test events. Our personnel, our experts must have expertise and high level of experience. So we have introduced some talents internationally. We offer training at international level. Those are all the preparations we are doing. In front of us, there are several slopes. Many ski lovers are playing here. It's Monday, so there were not many visitors. But yesterday, during the weekends, I saw a lot of visitors. It's after a promotion process of such an activity. From the perspective of consumption, in some literature, they say skiing in China is a way of entertainment consumption. People view snowboarding and skiing as an entertaining consumption. If that is the nature, I think it will take a longer time for the publicity of such an activity. And by promoting the snow and ice games, when people get accustomed and get some knowledge about this activity, people will enjoy their lives better because they can also train their bodies by enjoying the games. Just now we said there are a lot of small kids starting to get engaged with this game. This will be very helpful for us in the future to promote this sports activity. Yes, that's why we think it's a very promising game. We are at a rapid stage of development, particularly through the Olympic Winter Games. We had a policy of inviting 300 million people to ski. Mostly they are referring to young people. Of course, some adults are enjoying skiing themselves. They join these games, but mostly I think the youngsters are the hope of our country, and if we want to develop one sport, young people will be the hitter group, even for consumption side. You said that the upgrading project started last year, so is it finished yet? We are still under preparation. We had long years in preparation. According to the timeline, we are progressing according to the requirements of the Olympic Winter Games. For now, the half-pipe venue, slope scales, and slalom venues are already constructed. According to the plan, next year we will complete the slopes construction for the aerial scales and the racing. So basically, we are progressing step by step. You just said the half-pipe venue has been finished. Could you take us there? Sure. Just now we saw the big air and the different levels of slopes. Now let's go to the half-pipe venue. This is a slope for aerial skills last year completed. And now I heard sometimes our national teams will train their athletes here in our venues. Yes, both national level or provincial level teams will come here for training. Some venues are already finished, like I said, the half-pipe and many aerial skills. So our national athletes will come here for official training since last year. This year also. Okay, we will have a look about the venue.
因为这个游行池呢比较远，我们可能还是要得乘车才
The
能到那个正式的这个场
Halfpipe
地。
has some distance from us, so we have to take the bus to get there.
随着这个滑雪这个运动的这个普及和流行呢，
With the promotion of skiing and snowboarding in China, many skiing lovers every year during the snow season will come from Beijing or Tianjin, and mostly they take their own kits.
可以滑得更顺畅，包括节省自己的一部分
And
的费
they
用。
would have better experience, and they can save some money for renting such equipment. 好，我们现在赶往这个正式的冬奥 Now we
会
will
比赛的
drive
场地，看一看。
to the
刚刚这个
venue for the Olympic
在
Winter
滑雪场的
Games.
工作人员告诉我们说，现在今天应该
According
是
to the
有
introduction
这个
by the
国家
Genting
队
Snow
的
Park,
队员在那里
today
进行这个训练，我们马上就赶到那
there
儿去
will
看一
be the national athletes trained in that venue.
大家在左边看到的这条雪道呢，就是整个的一个初级滑雪爱好者的
On my
雪道，
left,
叫初级道。
it's a slope
很多人
for
都是从这
the
条赛道上开始，
newbies.
慢慢开始学
Many
会这个
people
滑
start
雪。
their journey of skiing from those types of slopes.
刚刚我们的汽车在行进的过程中，我们的直播信号可能有一些卡顿。
Just now, there was a signal problem when we were driving. Now let's continue.
去往那个奥运赛场的 U 型槽比赛的地方。
Now, I am walking towards the venue of Halfpipe.
大家从旁边的这个雪道可以看到，有很多的
On my left,
有很多
there
的
are
不同
some
程度、
slopes,
不同难度的这个滑雪的赛道，
different levels of difficulties. For example,
全是
on the top,
高台滑雪，而下面这一道，
they are
下面这一道
big
就
air,
是一个初级道的，
and then below them there are
很多
some
的滑雪爱好
easy
者，包括小
slopes.
孩，都在这
Many
里
ski
开
lovers
始
and
进行他们
young
的这个
kids
滑雪
are
的这个体验。
starting their journey of skiing from those easier slopes.
现场是非常的热闹。哇！崇礼现在的温度大概是在零下10几度左右。
It's about 10 Celsius degrees below zero in Chongli County. And on top of the mountains, there are also 5 to 6 grade of strong winds.
走起路来是
So
非常的困难。
when I am walking, it's quite difficult.
好，我们现在来到的这个位置，大家可以看一下，透过镜头可以看一下
We。are here. Through our camera, you could see this place.
届
This
时
is gonna be
游行
the
槽比赛
venue
以
for
及高台滑雪
2022
比赛的
Olympic
一个
Games
在场
for
的一个赛道。
the big air and the half pipe.
可以看到现在有这个单板的高手，现在正在这个 U 型槽进行这个相关的这个训练工
Some
作。
snowboarders are being trained in the half pipe.
这应该是在单板的这种单板以及双板的这个极限动作
guess
以及竞技水
This
准上
half pipe
水
will
准比较
be
高的一个。
very demanding
比赛的一个
in
项目。
terms of whether skiing or snowboarding. It has high requirements for skills.
刚刚工作人员提到说，现在在这个 U 型槽进行
According to the
训
staff
练的
members, now
应该是
those
中国国家
people
队的
playing
一些
in
队
the
员。
half pipe are the national athletes.
通过这些 U 型槽的这个加速呢，它会在腾空期间做出一些相关的动作。
In the half pipe, they can accelerate their speed certainly and have some moves.
除了这个 U 型槽以外，还有一个 空中
In
的技
addition
巧
to
以
the
及空中的
halfpipe,
障碍，
there will be also the venue for the
空
aerial
中的障碍的
skills.
一些比赛。所以说，大家可以看到整个的这个场地设计的，是一个多比赛的项目的一个场地。那么
So
大家
actually,
看到
this place
底下的
has
那
different
个红色的有着红
events
色
during the
围罩
Olympic
的这个
Winter
部分，
Games.
以及这个集
On
装
the
箱，类似于
ground,
集装箱
there
这
is
个部分呢，
something like a
比
container
赛
in red.
裁判的相关的
That is for the
比赛的
judge.
这个地方。那刚刚这个也
And
提到了
the
说，
referees.
在12月19号左右的时候呢，这里
As
就
we
将
have
举行
heard on
新一届
December the
FIS 的
19th,
世界杯。
in this place there will be the IFRS World Cup to be held here.
滑雪上马上就有选手要滑下来，基本上是
And
类
also
似于
there are
中
some
国最早的一个
athletes
滑雪
playing the ski
滑雪的一个
jumping.
坡度。
It's like the 90 degrees of the slope.
那选手在滑到坡顶的时候，还要进行相关的空中技巧的一些动作。这些
Also, on top of the slope, the athletes will have to showcase some moves. 好的，各位观众，我们今天的这个网络直播带大家认识到了这个张家口 So this
崇礼
morning,
市的太子城
We have
村
taken
以及
you
太子
to the
城的
Prince
冰雪小
City,
镇以及未来
to
的
the Ice
整个京
Town,
张高铁的太子城站
and also
整个
the
京张高铁的太子城
Jinjiang
站
High-Speed Railway
以及
Station in
奥
Prince
运
City.
村的建设的
We
情况，
also
包括我
took
们
you
现在所
to
来到的
the
这个
construction site
2022
of the
年冬奥会
Olympic
的
Village,
云
and now
顶
we are
滑
standing
雪
at
场
the
这个赛场的相关的这个
Genting
项
Ski
目的这个
Resort.
情况，
We have
可以说
seen some
2022年的这个
venues
冬奥
and
会
some slopes.
让张家口
Indeed, the
有一个滑
2022
雪的这个
Olympic
蜕变，
Winter
而且在
Games
未来的这个
will
每一天，这里
give
都将是
Zhangjiakou a
将
good
是日新月
opportunity
异的
for
变化。也
transforming
欢迎这个
itself. There
广大
will
的
be
网友
changes
在
happening on a daily basis here in this city. We sincerely welcome our viewers to come and have some first-hand experience in this city.
来的这个每一天，这里都将是日新月异的变化。也欢迎这个广大的网友啊，在这个雪季以及夏天的时候来到这个。
In the snow season or even in the summertime, you're welcomed to come to Zhangjiakou City. You will enjoy the beautiful scenery here.